Hey Vic, hi guys, how are we? Um, Markets in chaos yet again. Now the question is, what is normal market conditions these days? We've gone from super gold, linear direction to then huge gold sell-offs, and now we're meant to be in a time of risk off because we're going through geopolitical tensions, war, um, and this is where we, in theory, expect to see appreciation in safe haven assets and depreciation in risk assets. Now, that was the past. If we look at what happened yesterday, huge sell-off in risk assets, but that was outdone by the sell-off in commodities such as the safe haven, silver, and gold. They were absolutely brutally hammered yesterday. And from speaking with a couple of brokerages, uh, it was a day of retail madness. So many accounts were wiped out yesterday. Um, what can we learn from that, and what can we try and establish? Is look, what because something when you look at investments and they say past returns don't make past returns don't promise future results, right? So just because risk off used to behave in a certain manner doesn't necessarily mean it's going to pave the way going forward. And that was justification yesterday. We looked at what happened and it was brutal. Now, today we're seeing a little bit of a rally. I mean, we're up 4% in Bitcoin and we're up three-quarters of a percent on the Nasdaq. We're up 0.7% on the DAX and we're up 2% on gold. So everything is seeing a little bit of a move, and we're seeing the dollar down a little bit on the day, not massively, but a little bit. So, is this just a little bit of a relief rally from yesterday, or are we going to see the dollar sell off? Now, we were looking for opportunities. So, the analysis you're seeing on the screen right now for gold is basically what we were looking. I'm just going to try and make that. There we go. Is what we looked at in this morning's live stream. Now, one thing I was saying to my members is this period, yes, this is where you can potentially make heaps of money when the market behaves in a manner that we would expect, i.e., risk on being risk off and risk on being risk on. We're not seeing that. Okay, the markets are quite erratic and random at the present. So this could be a time where you want to sit still, take a breath, watch, sit out. I didn't place one trade yesterday. I haven't placed one trade yet today, and I'm contemplating not placing a trade again this afternoon because in all the madness, this is where I see people, yes, they can have great results, but I also see it where you can have horrendous results. And it's a little bit like that saying where I go, I'd much rather be a pilot on the floor wishing I was in the air than a pilot in the air wishing I was on the floor. So we can watch all these wild moves and go, oh, what if I'd taken this and that would have got me X amount of percent or X amount of dollars? Big Harvey, how you doing? Mr. Buckley, good afternoon. Or we could look at it and go, do you know what? The system would have worked there, but would we have stayed in it? Would we have captured it because of market volatility? You don't know what the candle did in that split second. Did it trigger you in, spike up, and go back down where you see a huge bearish candle? You don't see the full intricacies in that 1 hour candle. So just be very wary, guys. Don't let your dopamine levels kick in and guide you to doing something silly based on subconscious thoughts. Okay, remember the the biggest killers of oh, I've just realized what's behind me. Sorry, I forgot I'm on YouTube. My green screen's behind me from recording. Um, I will move that in. Let me move it now because it looks a mess. Right, still creeping in. Oh, Nothing like a good old live. Bit of bloopers. Have you gone through the NAS for the day? No, I've not even looked at it yet, to be fair, Sandra. Not even looked at it. This morning, all we did was map out gold and DAX on the off chance that we would look for an opportunity. Now, we have like a micro level in here. So if we drop down, you can see when you look at the hourly, you got a level that sits here at 51.56. Now the problem, if I just drop this in, I want to show you. If I just drop this in here, we say, right, if we look for an hourly close below there, then you drop to the 30. Okay, that you can say, right, okay, if we get a close below 51.48, then we've got about a $15 drop down to here. Now, when you go down to the 15-minute chart, it just starts to get a little bit messier. So I just want to sit out of it. Wait, no need to force this. This market will still be here tomorrow. It'll still be here the week after. So don't go wild. What we can look at doing here is, for those of you that are a bit more aggressive, um, I'm just curious if this is going to be like a little bit of a rotational correction. The price action here does look a little bit more corrective. It's not as aggressive. So we could look for the market to drop back down. Now, for the aggressive traders, where this 15 or this hourly candle has just gone straight up after the news, you could look for a 30-minute flip or hourly flip here. So hourly flip underneath low 51.69. You got $12 down to fill the wick. So that kind of works. Could look at doing that for the aggressive traders. But I will be sitting out. I'm going to sit out of this one. Just so you are aware, I don't want you to think that I'm calling trades and saying, "Oh, this is what you've got to take." No, I'm saying what would make a theoretical trade, but I'm going to be sitting out again today. I'm going to see what the markets are like again tomorrow. We've got what do you call it on Friday? What's that big day? Oh yeah, non-farm. So we've taken a little bit of a slower and more cautious approach to this week. And the thought process behind that is because of what happened on Sunday stroke Monday. Because leading into this week, I was of a viewpoint and an opinion that we were going to see gold rally like crazy, would see stock markets sell off, and gold appreciate and dollar to appreciate in value. Now, what we saw in the open on Sunday night was we saw gold big gap up, rally, then gold sell off. I looked for a couple of trades short on the Nasdaq. Um, got stopped on one of them because I sold the Nasdaq on a rally. And oh, 1 second, guys. 1 second. I've got someone up. Oh, sorry, guys. Bear with me 1 second. I just have to do something. Right. 1 second. Nearly done it. Just need a number. Agree. is that not there? Sorry, guys. Always something during a live. Copy, continue. Okay, that is it. Sorry about that. Now we're back. Perfect, done. Okay, yes. Now, as I was saying, I sold the Nasdaq on a rally, and then Monday just went all a little bit obscure in terms of trade movement. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to take Tuesday off. We did 2 live streams on Tuesday. I gave out a trade that under normal circumstances I would take, but I didn't actually place it. It went on to hit T1, and then it was, in fact, Vic, I think you got T1, T2, and T3, right? So that worked nice. Then yesterday, again, I had a quiet day. Yesterday afternoon was very, very quiet. No trades for me. We literally just talked through the markets, the conditions, the impact that what is going on in the world having on the markets. And I think we're seeing such new sort of trading conditions. Now, whether this is because of the amount of AI in the market as well as um, your traditional sort of technical and traditional EA systems and arb trading, maybe this is what's sending the market slightly differently. I have no idea, but the way the market reacted to this war was very different. It opened as we would expect, and then what happened afterwards has been very, very different. So, like I was saying, potential shorts underneath the hourly low on gold to fill the wick. If you're looking for buys, then it needs an adjustment. The adjustment would be here, so above 51.98, so call it 98.1. 98.1. Okay, what's this? China urges Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, uh, allowing global oil routes to function. Okay, so nothing significant. So yeah, so if you are going to look at this, um, the no trade range, you can leave that off if you are going to take the hourly sell stop, which just in this instance, let me get a price for you, would be let's zoom in, let's put this under that. Now something like this, I would be saying, right, I want to take 80% of the position off by the time it gets to 51.59. So entry is going to be if you like the flip, that is. If you like the flip. Don't be looking at this if if you're not a flip style trader, if that makes sense. So the low 5170.8. So you're going to look for depending what your stop not your stop loss, depending what your spread is, you would be putting your entry just below the low of the current hourly candle, so 51.70. If your spread is, let's say, 2 or 3 pips, you might put it at 51.70.5. and you stop loss above 51.98. So 51, I don't know, maybe something like 98.3. So depending on what your spread is, no, that would work. Exits, full exit would be 51.25. And then if it keeps going, then I'd be looking for more shorts when we get below 50.78. High lightning, how we doing? Now, if we get above 51.98, we're looking for a close above, then we can look for a breakout to the upside. Okay, Nasdaq. Right, let's have a look at this. Oh, what's this? Breaking news. Iran, NATO shoots down Iranian missile targeting Turkey. How new is that? Anyone seen that on the news? Yeah, NATO shot down a ballistic missile. US submarine has sunk an Iranian warship. So, okay, let's go back to NAS, see what's happening. Okay, so I'm going to remove all drawings. I want us to focus on the higher time frame because look, we don't want to get caught in the chop. So where do we see significant support? Now, support is simply identified by a seller candle followed by a buyer candle. Now, you're probably going to see seller candle, buyer candle, seller candle, buyer candle, seller candle, buyer candle, seller candle, currently a buyer candle. So there's loads happening here. So this area is being defended at 24,687. If I then look at this one, we've got support there and then support here. Now this range between this support and this support keeps getting filled. Now, if you were to trade between these ranges, or if you were looking at any one of these ranges, where would you be interested in buying? Which area would you be interested in buying most? Let me mark them out. I'm just going to give you, so I'm going to put 1 here, 2 here, 3 here. Which one of those would you like to buy in the most? 1, 2, or 3? If you had to be a buyer at any one of those price points, where would you like to be a buyer? Two and three from Sandra. This looks like we've got a new. Who's Nias? Are you new to the channel? If you are, welcome. Okay, so yeah, 2, 3, VIX Nuzzle 3. Yeah, now just remember, what time frame are we looking at here? So because we're looking at the daily, welcome, Nias. Welcome to the stream. We're just price action traders focusing on gold, Nasdaq, and DAX predominantly. Today and yesterday, if you've just switched in, I normally trade, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 trades per session. Yesterday I didn't trade, and today I'm not trading as well. I might, but I didn't trade this morning, so what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to sit out today as well. Just because the markets are not acting in a traditional risk on, risk off way. Uh, so because we're looking at the daily and we want to day trade, I'd always be interested at any one of these levels, but what I want to see is what is happening to the left-hand side. How did it retrace into those levels? So, for example, uh, let's just drop down to the hourly and let's take a look at level the first one. Right. Okay. So look, comes down here. Do we have any interaction? No. Vic, see you, mate. Take care. No interaction, no buyer rejection. So there's absolutely zero interest. Again, we want, if we're going to be a buyer from here, we want to see the market push right up. We want to see it retrace into it. We want to see some clean candle space. So not one of these interactions in here has actually given me any kind of setup that I'd be interested in. Okay, so what about level two? Okay, level two. Now, looking at this, would anyone be interested in, think about this? Let's go to what it would look like. Oh, I'm gonna have to. Would anyone be interested in that? If you think about what the market's doing, the price point it's come into, the candle structure to the left-hand side, yeah, this is nice. So there's a couple of things going on here. Predominantly one, two, three lovely downrange candles with no top wicks, no, little or very little bottom wicks. Then we have like the shift in the tug of war between buyers and sellers, where we get a top wick, a bottom wick, and the open and close is pretty much the same price. Then the next candle prints an outside candle, which means it breaks the low of the previous candle and breaks the high of the previous candle, and then finishes with a very strong close. So this would be something of great interest to me. So I would take this regardless. Okay. So if I was trading, I would take this regardless. All I want to see then is a wick down, and then we buy the high of this candle. And look, think about where we're looking from daily level. I'd want to be taking money off based on our rules, which, obviously 20, 25 points, whichever you're using, 50 points target two, and then use structure. Now, let's have a look, see how many points we have above this high. Okay, 200 to that area. So we've got loads of points. I'd have scaled out. I'd probably have like 10, 15% of the position running if we got anywhere near that. So if we go left, right, what happens? Do we get our 25 points? Let's say we're going for 25. Yeah, you're gonna get your first take profit and second take profit, no matter what you're using, whether you're using 20 or 25 and then 50. Now, next thing is, as we hit our TPs, going through there, T1, T2, your stop's going to be at break even. This bit comes back down, takes us out. Now, if we apply the rules again, could we look at a trade here? Yes or no? Is there anything we could look at here, or is this a no-go? Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so breaking. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Nas is breaking out. Okay, so looking at this, yeah, I can see Nas. We've typical breakout going on right now. Now, my only concern is I don't quite understand why Nas is rallying. Okay, there's doesn't really feel like the tensions are de-escalating. If anything, they sound like they're escalating a little bit each day. So the rallying indexes This is why I'm sitting out of the market. It doesn't make much sense to me. If there was nothing going on in the world, then yeah, I could be looking at this. The next thing I want to look at is when I look left. So if I look left above this level, what candle pattern, what candle structures am I seeing? Is it nice big body candles or a bit, would you say, small bodied, a little bit messy? What do you see when you look left? What are we thinking? Chart Master General, small and messy. Exactly. Now, because it's small and messy, that's why I don't want to do anything. Yeah, yeah. I just wouldn't look at this personally. If I know why you're looking at Sandra, it may go on and it may push higher and go through those highs, but I just don't like this here and what's happening, and none of it is really making logical sense. So right now, I'm just curious as to whether we're going to see everything start to sell off again. Are we going to start to see indexes sell off again, and are we going to start to see gold sell off again? That's in that's what I'm thinking. It, the gold selling off doesn't make much sense in this current climate, but I don't know. I'm just looking at this price action. Strong seller candles. And then the way it's moving back up, I'd call it like corrective price action because there's no aggressive buys. It's just like little bits and very wicky, and then it'll have a strong push, and then there's so I'm sitting on the side of caution, but I feel like gold's gonna drop. I feel like gold's gonna drop, and you know, feel isn't a set of rules. Chartmaster, I think the pushes long seem aggressive and the shorts are messy. On which chart, Chartmaster? On NAS. You okay, but also remember that right now this market isn't yet open. So we'll see. What time these shorts, if you look at the sells, that's through silly hours. So also have a look at the hours that you're looking at the shorts and the longs. Is it actual physical trading hours, or is it through the agent session? Or here we go, gold. How many of you placed this flip order just out of curiosity? How many of you placed that flip order? No, no trade for Sandra. Cool. How many aggressive traders do we have in here? How many would be looking at selling this flip here to at least fill this wick and then continue down to potentially fill that wick? Oh, here he is. Sick boy. How are you, pal? I was just about to message you as well. I would have if the current bar had closed bullish. Okay. So little W is welcome, if I'm not mistaken. Big W is what? Was it a win? I can't remember. Was it the other way around? Oh, I need a bit of radio. Bit of radio. It's quiet in this office today. Uh, Yeah. So, question for you guys: Has this? No. Obviously, normally these kind of situations give a directional bias to the markets, and this one's been very mixed since it started. So, how many of you have been enjoying these market conditions? Okay, so that would be triggered now. So, hate. Okay, so you've not enjoyed these market conditions, but you've not placed a trade, right? You've been sitting on your hands. You've been a good lad. Ah, no, dreadful. Well up yesterday morning, lost a lot, and some in the afternoon. Yeah, nice Monday. So that's funny you say that, Chartmaster. There's been quite a few similar um, situations of people that I've spoken to in this current market. Had a great Monday morning, terrible Monday afternoon, terrible Tuesday, and then I don't know about today. I'll find out next time I speak to people. But yeah, I've just been sitting on my hands, being a good boy. And right now, to be fair, I'm quite glad as well. I still like it, but this is definitely for the aggressive traders. God, let's see what's going on with Nasdaq. Yeah, I'm gonna sit tight. No trades. I mean, look at. The dollar is down against everything today, so the dollar's having a little bit of a sell-off, but it did have its biggest move. And this is something I showed you guys yesterday. So we could see maybe dollar reacting in and around this 99.50 area. Now, this is where we see it either come down or we see it break out. If it breaks out, then expect another very, very strong move on the dollar. So when we go to the daily chart, or sorry, let me go back. Can you see this, guys? Where is it? Wrong one. This one. What am I looking for? Brush. Ah, there we go. So you see how price rejection, rejection, rejection. Then here we've got this sort of descending channel. Well, if price gets back above this 100.3 area, I expect. Oh, what's going? Sorry, 1 second. Just. Oops. What was the entry? 78. 69. So about $5 offside at the minute. So we'll watch this one just because I know there's a couple of guys in here that's taken this trade. This is so bad. I'm just trying to think what I'm going to be like when little one arrives. I'm exhausted permanently at the minute. So in 8 weeks' time, what am I going to be like? Yeah, sorry, I didn't actually see what the numbers were from Forex Factory. Let me just go and check. No, probably, yeah. Came in better than forecast. Came in at 63,000. Forecast was 50,000. This is for the ADP. So it's the estimated change in numbers of from the previous month, excluding farming and government. Okay, so uptick there when the previous month was 11K, but has that been revised? I think so. There's a revision down. What was the question? No, okay. Sells are safer right now. New hourly opened without a bottom wick and printed top wick first. Yeah, I like it when it moves in the direction that the opposite direction to the way we want to go. The only thing I won't like is if we get a candle like this bullish one here. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, it's not great. Yeah, because in that instance, it's buyers from the second the candle opened and pretty much until it closed. Most of the time, what you'll find is when a candle opens, it will go in the opposite direction to the one that it goes in. So, for example, if you look at the these candles where we see the what's going on. Each one of these where it's selling, see, there's a top wick and then it drops. So it's just the most simplistic way of thinking about this is it's just like there is a tiny bottom wick on the hourly. It's just like a bow being pulled backwards. Oops. I think that bow's even less. That wick's even smaller than the spread. So yeah, I won't be counting that as a bottom wick. I think a Nat would be happy to have that as a leg. You are right, but we can't have every trade run straight into our TP. Sometimes we have to endure DD to give our. Sometimes we need to endure DD to give our heart much needed cardio. Love it. Yeah, I mean, look, if it goes down to 5,000 again, I'm sure there'll be some very unhappy traders and some very happy traders. I mean, literally yesterday. Um, yeah, I think at my age, Lightning, less heart cardio is required. It's a young man's sport, working on the hors d'oeuvres, nerves. Mark, what would be your break-even price? So, look, if I was to take this trade, I would run the same systems as always, right? So I'm looking $5 first TPs. Because we're in a range, I'd be looking at 70% to target. So $5, call it 40 pips, would be my first break even. And then I'd scale out at 50 pips. Now, that is quite aggressive in these market conditions because $5 is, I mean, yesterday I think it was doing what, 150 points in 1 minute candles. It was carnage, absolute carnage. We never thought we'd see days like the 30th and 31st of Jan again, and we did. It was a bloodbath for retail traders yesterday. But this is where we're looking for it to rotate and roll over now. Uh, any questions out there, guys? Got any questions? Yeah, so in fact, okay, so back to the what was it, the dollar index. If you look at this on the higher time frame, now this is just strictly uh, old school technical charting. Let me get rid of object tree. There we go. So what I would do here is, um, in fact, I'll show you how I would always draw my. I always like to draw my trend lines. I don't use trend lines anymore, but I would do it from the highest close to the next highest close. Bullish, remember? And then all I'd do is I'd copy that, unless I'd copy it, bring it down to the lowest close here. And then the wicks are the range that the market could potentially move into. So when we look at this, this is a type of pattern that I would expect to see above or below key level that I want to trade from. So for example, this 100 price point here that I'm scribbling all over, if the market comes below there, I like it when it does this kind of pattern. So you get this move. Then I like it to pop back up. Then I'm looking for this kind of pattern here for it to then break and go up. Does that make sense? So we see it come down. This is what we're seeing right now on the higher time frame. Wait for it to pop above the level. Wait for a correction. Then I'm looking for it to break out. So if I was to then say, right, well, what? A little bit. You didn't get it here, but when we see this level here, it breaks out. Lower time frame, you'll probably see it. This bit here. So once it comes back down, we're looking for that consolidation. Boom. And there we go. There's the sells. Has it dropped? We are at our entry price right now. Gold trades right now stand at break even. Really? Ah, there we go. Lovely. 70. I'm not sure it got to. Yeah, Sandra, catch you tomorrow, bud. This would have been nice. Should have just hit TP1, I reckon, or very close to. Yeah, tomorrow. What day is it? Thursday. Ooh, let me just. Good question. Tomorrow, Thursday. Uh, I'm going to do a slightly later one tomorrow. We've got ultrasound at 12 o'clock. So, get out at 1. So, about 1:30 to 2 o'clock. Definitely hit TP1 now. Guys, if you took this, let me know. Now, as I said, I've not taken this. It's just one that I called on stream. Now, I don't know whether you want me to mark this down in the results or leave it off because I didn't take it. I'll let you guys choose. So I'm going to leave this to you guys. Do I mark this one on the results or do I leave it off because I've not taken it? What do you think, guys? Take it as a win? Anyone else? I don't mind either way. Yeah, I'll leave it off. I'll leave it off. I think you're right, Chartmaster. It's not often I call things and don't take them myself, so I'm going to leave it off. I don't want to give unfair. Be stopped at break even now. No, I said I'm not trading for the next couple of days just because I don't like the market conditions. So I've sent out a couple of trades to my members over the last couple of days, and I've not been trading. Um, just the markets are acting in a very abnormal way, which is I'll always let you know what I am and what I'm not doing because you'll see me trade, right? So because you see me trade, you know that I'm taking it or I'm not taking it, and I'll always be transparent and tell you I'm not trading. I'm just wondering whether we're going to see my preference. My preference is going to be looking for the DAX to sell off, right? This is going to be my preference. And I think if we get a move below there, in fact, let's do this. Move that to there. 24030. For buys, 24186.4. Let's do. So that'll be, what's the range? 247 now. So we lost a few pips there due to the smaller break, 247. And what about, we've definitely gained more range for this move lower, 183. So that's what we're looking for on DAX. Yeah, you're absolutely right. In terms of doubt, yeah, I'm doubting the conditions of the market. And when the market is doing something unusual, what does that do to systems? If the market's doing something unusual, what does that do to systems? So since this, let's say, gold charge, we've already had to amend certain things. We've had to amend the lot sizing. We've had to amend take profits. Okay, so now we're seeing a different market condition. So while we're just waiting for, I want to say normality. I'm not sure we're going to see normality again. We thought we'd seen the new norm with gold, and then we get this. Okay, when was that? Okay, Iran operatives made offer to discuss terms for ending the war. Okay, that was, when was that? Okay, 3 hours ago. So that would probably explain the tick up in the NAS. So we'll see what happens in a few minutes when it opens. So 2:30, I'm going to have to close off, guys. I'm going to have to, well, I'll wait a couple of minutes after 2:30 and then I have to go. I just want to see what happens as the markets open. And now it's dropping again. So we shall see. No trades for me. Hourly, I mean, look, if you want to watch the hourly and leave the smaller time frames, then I think anything below 51.56, then you can start watching for an hourly close below there. She's going down. Let's hope so. If you're in it, let's hope so. Did you manage to get your accounts all sorted, Stephen? And are we going to do, what day is it? Thursday at 11? Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you're in Canada, aren't you? Yeah. Sorry, completely forgot. Have a great time. See, guys, look at this. Stephen is off to Canada skiing. The joys of being able to trade, right? You can just pick up your stuff, take your laptop, jump on the slopes. It's what it's what makes trading such a great industry because it doesn't matter where you are, as long as you've got your phone for a bit of signal or Wi-Fi, you can trade anywhere in the world. Five minutes. Let's see what happens on the open. So, what do you think is going to happen on the open? Nasdaq. What's happening? Yeah. So Nasdaq, you could look for. Not so keen on this chart. Now the 4 hour, what time? It should close at 2 o'clock. Oh, it's going to close at 3 o'clock. If this candle closes like this, the 4 hour is looking crisp, looking beautiful for sells. But there's another 34 minutes left of this candle, and I am always a bit skeptical of 4 hour charts because they are different on broker to broker depending where their server is based. .3 minutes. see what NAS and gold do. So NAS is currently 156 points up. Gold's currently $77 up. Are these going to turn bearish on the day? Who knows? But or are we going to see a strong finish? Well, I think a lot of this will be dependent on. Not quite sure where that was with Iran reaching out to discuss ending the war. Um, Let me see if I can find anything else on that. Uh, doesn't look like it. First thing I see is something exploding. 44 minutes ago, Israel's launched a broad wave of fresh strikes in Iran and attacked Hezbollah targets in Beirut. Uh, oh, geez. So the Iranian warship was sank near Sri Lanka. One minute. Okay, Naz is it's dropped 10 points from what we said. Let's see if it drops. I won't be surprised if it does, but who knows? These markets are odd. Like I said to you, I feel like the markets want to drop, but it's not something I'm going to trade today. No part is ready to end this war. It's also a war of egos rather than a war of objectives. There's definitely some egos out there, that's for sure. Okay, Nazi's just jumped 30 points on the initial open. Make that 40, 50, 70, 80 is popping. It is popping. And they obviously have some, or is this just to sucker people into the buys? I can't see anything that looks investing. Fed's Miran, too early to have firm use about. No. Canada, the USD is modestly lower. No. No, I don't see anything there that's going to warrant a big move higher in this market. So I think if I was looking to trade anything, get a bit of the old Jamaican bang bang on, but I quite like underneath the low of the current uh, open candle. So the market's taken out the highs, and then I'm looking for it to flip bearish. Again, I'm not taking it, but if I was going to trade today, that'd be my trade. Gold's pushing. All right. All right, guys. There's going to be zero trades for me today. Oh, God. All right, guys. I'm going to stay in 2 more minutes. So if I was to look for sales, all right, buddy. Stephen, enjoy the slopes. Have a great time. Enjoy the snow, the beer, the wine, and make sure you send plenty of pictures into the group. Yeah, I'm going to check out as well, guys, because there's nothing for me. There's nothing for me. We did have a suggestion here for a trade that hit T1, and then stopped at break even. But yeah, there's just nothing. Nasdaq's going potty. Not sure why, but it is. Okay, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna hang my boots up. There's absolutely nothing for me to do. See you guys. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and I'll see members early in the morning. Okay. All right, team. Take care. Have a great evening. Bye bye.